Alrighty. Here we go. Doing it a little differently today. All right. So today is July 16th, the day you never been in before, the day you'll never see again. So I hope you make the best out of it. It's Sunday, 2023, in the year of our Lord, and we're gonna go from there. Um Discussion at hand is just gonna be an open discussion. Um it's how we normally do things here. Just have an open discussion. And so there's even access for people who are maybe previewing this as YouTube is streaming it, that they can plug themselves in to come up, and then I can either let them in or shoot them away. End of the day, this is a sit bro. So what sit bro stands for, success is the best revenge overall. And my actual goal with sit bro is to mend the generational gap between the men. you know so when the younger men don't feel like they have anybody to talk to, us as the older guys or the much older guys can say, hey little brother, we got you. This is the path, this is a way, these are some things that may not go all the way, but I can assure you a good gist of it, and vice versa. Well, sometimes we have to look at the younger brothers and just not undermine their wisdom because of age. That mean that they haven't been experienced in certain parts of life that where they can help us as well. So that's the overall purpose of Sid Bro, is to let it be known that success isn't just monetary gain, it's also spiritual, mental, physical, and emotional. And the purpose is to make sure that our men understand that man wills the money, not money willing the man. And so we put a lot of efforts into really making the connection and making sure that the brothers are strong and unified to be men again. And so that's the purpose of Sit Bro, which is where we're at right now. And just want to go there with you, man. I want to say thank you too, because it's a lot that you had to go through just to get here with me at this moment. Uh, I appreciate you being the son of a man who is a police officer himself, around the same age as you, was a truck driver, didn't want to let it go. And then it got to a point like, bruh, you can't truck drive and police at the same time. So he finally let it go after a while, man. But that just shows the dedication of the man that he is, to try to see a job all the way through.
Oh yeah.
And him, like yourself, is being a father and a grandfather. He's not a great grandfather, thank God, but
I got you on the way, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, man. So want to get right to it. We're gonna run the intro real quick,
All right.
and go from there. Oh, what city are you hailing from?
Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Fayetteville, North Carolina, man. So y'all definitely show up. Now, also in Fayetteville, North Carolina, there's an event coming up. Two major events is coming up. One is July 29th of this month. It's going to be Stars and Cars. It's a red carpet star-studded event. It is going to be gilded around the boxing event of Spence and Crawford. And so hopefully you can make it to that event. Now, another event
Uh,
that'll have July 29th.
Guess what?
Yes, sir.
You talking to a former boxer.
Oh, you're in the right place.
Hey, I'm communicating. I started in St. Louis. Up under the,
Okay.
I was with there's both brothers Spinks. Them bust me upside my head, but
Oh
I
man.
fought a little bit in the army. I trained a little bit here. I won super heavyweight in 1993. It was my last fight on Fort
Okay.
Bragg. So I
Okay.
fought with the guys that box around here. So, oh yeah, that's small world.
Yes.
What,
So
what's the
then
other what's the other event?
the other event is August 12th. Michael Williams Jr. will be going for his 21st victory. Um, Michael Williams Jr., I will employ anybody to follow this man's career, not because he is just a dynamic boxer. He's just a great individual. It's just like, how could you not like this brother? I did an interview with the brother, and he's so uniquely modest, right?
Mm-hmm.
Most people that have a brand or something going on, And they're like, yeah, you got to get this water because it's he
Right.
was like we're just having a discussion. I'm like, he's like, yeah, I got shoes. I'm like, you got shoes? I'm like, bro, where the shoes at? You ain't you like. So he just goes and grabs a couple of shoes, and it's just like, so he'll be fighting there in North Carolina at Fayetteville, North Carolina, August 12th, going for his 21st victory. Brother's only 24, 23 years old, 6'1", 70 some odd inch reach. He's just
Right.
and he's an animal. He's
Yes,
an
sir.
animal. In the ring, you forget he's human.
Right.
Outside of the ring, like, where was that guy that was in that ring? This is a whole different person.
Right.
You're so lovable, brother. Who
Right.
are you? Right? And then in the ring, I know the boxers got like, who is this guy? That ain't the
Right.
guy that was talking to me. And like, so he's just an amazing character of person.
Right.
And definitely want to give the I need to link up with this brother, VP Michael Williams Jr. And that's Mr. TKO himself, Mr. T Max Network himself. So he is the vice president of Michael Williams Jr. Boxing. Also a great member of a club that they have out there. It's called Guns and Boxing.
Guns and boxing. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Those dynamic brothers, Michael Williams Sr., the father of Michael Williams Jr., man, those brothers do just amazing things. The positive brothers, they're just not a group of guys without a purpose. Everything they do is purpose filled. It serves as the community, and it's so much of a service to community. It's like, how do y'all find time for yourselves? Like
Oh yeah.
they're really like that. They're really like that. So we'll get you linked up with those brothers as well. But August 12th is Michael Williams Jr.'s fight there in
Right. I'll find.
Fayetteville, Fayetteville, North Carolina. Also, if anybody would like to sponsor a child for to be able to go to a professional boxing match, well, you can hit us up at TMAX Network LLC at gmail.com, and they can go check it out how you can get the child, you know, into a fight. It's only going to be $30 if you want to sponsor a child. So it's TMAX Network LLC at gmail.com if you want to sponsor a child to get them into a fight. And another thing is, man, please like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel, TMAX_network. We're here for the people. We're also here for the creators. So if you're a creator, content creator, you want to hit that email as well. And it's TMAX Network at TMAX Network LLC at gmail.com. Whatever you have a suggestion, sponsorship, whatever the case may be, please contact us and let us know. If you got an event you want us to just put out there, let us know by all means. So listen, the man said we would be elated to sharpen the iron with another man. Just
Proverbs
Google.
27:17. Yeah.
Absolutely, my brother. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get right down to it. All right. Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Oh yeah.
Um, Understanding that climate's change and things, let's talk about. Before I get to the actual topic, I want to discuss about you as a consistent member in law enforcement for 3 decades
Mhm.
and seeing the climate changes from various time frames and so forth and so on. Me as an outsider, somewhat of an insider, because my dad was a
Right.
police chief. My uncle was also head of internal affairs for Houston Police Department.
Right.
To me, on the outside, I watch these men who are black men, upstanding citizens, and trying to contribute to the good nature of policing and trying to introduce brothers to another, career path, life path choices out there outside of the norm of entertainment. You know what I mean?
Right.
Of so many other things that that seems to be the only way that seems to be out when it's not the only way, right? The thing that I observed is those who were not black had more of a disposition about themselves about certain officer who were black and in superior positions. Is that something that you noticed, or it was just something that I'm just kind of
Or you saying
looking
like
at to
how
be?
you look at it? I mean, here we have a black sheriff in office, and his command is
Mm-hmm,
black, but it's very everybody was how I would say morale was low because they short man, and again Fayetteville just got a new chief. We had a black female police chief, a young man that's come up through the ranks is now the chief. But again, they struggling also. But again, you see our trying times where we're going through the every event that we have from George Floyd, Jason Walker here in Fayetteville, and several others. Is how we handling it. I understand, like you know, we just had, if I'm not mistaken, if you look it up, I think we had a young lady shot 17 times, dealing with mental issues, but she had
mm-hmm.
an AR. I wasn't there. I don't know the preview of how everything went down, but I understand, that legally the city was not backing them anymore, the officers. So that,
Wow.
I think as a head man or as a sergeant, I stood up for my people. You're right, you're right, you're wrong, you're wrong. As I watched Jason Floyd, like the whole community did. Again, it hurt me as an officer to do that because my 30 years of experience. You
Right.
know, I've snatched people up and I've dealt with issues, and it's just a way that I can't armchair quarterback. But again, what I saw, I believe in the body cameras. I mean, you see a lot of that has come up to light that it shows a lot. And I don't
Mm.
think officers should be afraid of that because you're going there with the right mindset.
Right.
But training is important, and again, it takes leadership. You got to get out there on the street with the guy. You know what I'm saying? I was real. I'm still real. You know, I'm in the phone book. I'm on Facebook. Anybody can have my number. It's like,
Mm.
I'm human just like you are. But again,
Mm.
it's a gift and talent that you exercise and be willing to say, hey, I'm wrong, and apologize, and you know go with the consequences. But man, this in
Right.
light of what we're seeing today, a lot of people say, why would you still want to serve? Hey, I've been doing
Right.
it 30 years. I know that I want to pass it on to young people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm training a young man now, 24, at Methodist. Got his head on his shoulders, and I'm like, that's what we want. Pass the
Right.
torch. So,
Right. And,
but
and kudos,
I,
kudos to
I
that
think
young brother.
I think training is important, man. Once me looking at you, I'm just meeting y'all, and I can tell I'm in a company with good people. It just that
Oh man,
you know,
I appreciate
I
that.
guess it's a gift, but you see people that's concerned and making sense. And
I appreciate that.
how do I get connected with somebody that's boxing? You know what I'm saying? I just I'm lighting up like a firecracker. Because that's was me. That's what I came up. I started the PAL program here in '99,
Mm.
and I was a SRO, if you know, school resource officer at a alternative school, and it happened to
Mm.
be the first guys to fight. And go look at that. A teacher at the school, me and him battled in the army, and I'm like, look at here, man. But we were able to talk to the students and say, see, we were combatants, just like you saying Williams. And I gotta look at him, really. I might know Michael Williams.
Yeah, and you
I
might,
met him.
you just might. I mean,
I met a young man years ago. I ain't want to get off the subject, but he was like 9 years old, man. I went to, I think, Wilmington,
mm.
and he was like a little kid running around. But when he got in the ring, got up under the ropes, he flicked the switch. And he had so many fights. But as a young man, I said, boy, you going places. And it'd be funny if that's him, because, like you just said,
Yeah,
whole
that's
different
that's
story when you get in the ring, man. But
that's that. I mean, that brother's dedicated, man. He's definitely dedicated. He doesn't underestimate or overestimate the current situation that
right.
he's facing, that sits before him, and he
What
doesn't undermine his
class?
opponents.
What's his weight class?
It, he's in the same weight class with Adrian Bronner. He was
Okay,
actually set to fight Adrian Bronner until he had a injury on the jaw.
okay.
And so
Right.
all goes well.
Yes,
You'll
sir.
see
I
you'll
think.
see him
uh,
take on either Adrian Bronner or Ryan Garcia.
Okay, he ain't ready, but we ain't say he ain't ready for Tank yet, right?
I'm not gonna say that
Okay,
because
okay.
the only reason why I'm not gonna say that is the fact that probably contractually
Yeah.
that would be the thing that I would say contractual wise.
Right. Gotcha.
A few more fights, and like, wait a minute,
Okay.
skill set,
Yeah.
that's not a problem. That's not a problem. And now because of well brother the Joshua,
Yeah.
I when he fought Big Boy, came
Yeah.
out the blue and put
Yep.
him like a
Bruce.
lot of guys like, hold on, yeah, he had 30 some odd fights, but who the
Yep.
hell is he?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
So I get that's the thing that I'm looking at now. A lot of because it's business,
Yeah.
at a certain
Yeah.
as it's business. So you just
Yes,
gotta
sir.
respect the letter of the
Oh yeah.
business, and that's where I am with that.
I
But
got you. I'm gonna definitely look into it, and but yeah, man, it's just that's things like that they help me get off the street. And again, I come from a family of law enforcement also, so but boxing I think was a key. We're getting more now into the MMA and but
mhm,
that's just hey, like I say, it's changing times. But the old
right,
classic in the ring, the square circle, men are men. You know what I'm saying? And like you just said, how effective is that? That you can put your priorities together, still be a man, take care of business. But like I said, we need more young people to get involved with this, the system, man. I mean, it ain't for everybody. I tell people that.
no,
I wasn't born a cop. Like I say,
it's definitely not
I learned. I had good, I guess, good leadership, and that's what it takes. I
right.
mean, you know,
So
yeah. Go ahead. I ain't mean to interrupt.
no, you're perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And my guy Shadow Terrell says, when your passion shows, you become a different animal. It's
Oh yeah.
absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. And he's definitely one of those guys. Um, so one I wanted to hear one because you're somebody of law enforcement and long-standing citizen. Uh, but the situation at hand is there was a young lady by the name of Ashley Grayson. Um, I didn't know who she was. I didn't know much about her. It was just the odd attraction to the story, and so I don't know how much you see on social media with a lot of these engagement like videos, and they like really put together really beautifully. Like it's almost like a full on production, just on a level to where like, oh, I know this person personally, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not one of those things like, oh, I went to school with Tom Hanks and it's 50 years removed type of
Right.
thing. This is
Right.
like these videos are really close to home. And so this lady went viral from her engagement video. Beautiful piece of work.
Mm-hmm.
Now, where I give her credit is I give her credit for having the skill to recognize that she was building a following.
Right.
So she started ushering people to her Instagram. Her Instagram following became really big. And then here's where the problem lies. She threw out there that she is a credit repair person and this is how she made ample amounts of money, right? And she was like, I'm going to at one part teach you how to do this, and then no, I'm not, because I'm not going to create no competition for myself. Right then and there, that's why I was like, okay, something's wrong with this.
Right.
And so it just kept growing and kept growing. Her brand kept growing. And then all of a sudden, one young lady's like, look, I've tried it. There was things still on my credit. I called TransUnion, I called Equifax, I called Experian, and ain't none of this stuff removed. So she sends that young lady a cease and desist letter, like, you need to stop this, this, that, third. Like, no, you didn't do what you said you was going to do. And then she went at another heavyweight actual um, credit repair person who really does the credit repair business and went at them. Now, the turn of the story happens when she takes one of her supposed clients and reaches out to them to do a murder for hire. And that client then records her on FaceTime saying everything that she's saying, like totally incriminating herself.
Right.
And they're getting all of this info and all this info, all this info. And then she had the court case with the first young lady that was telling everybody that she didn't get any of these things removed. That case got thrown out the window. And then now the other one was like the other young lady that is the actual credit report was like, no, I'm not finna back down for nothing. You got me messed up. Now there's a RICO charge and a murder for hire charge on the young lady named Ashley Grayson and her now husband. And, you know, unfortunately, they're expecting a child. Um, when you hear these types of stories, because I'm sure you heard well off, well worse. For me, watching this type of stuff, knowing the outcome, it was a little different because I'm like, where is the happy ending? This was supposed to be a happy ending. You have what they call the American dream. You have the family. You got the thriving business. Why you have to be you, one of us? And why did it have to be this way?
Right.
Again, against one of us. So when you see these type of stories, where's the mindset? Where is the emotions on this type of situations for you?
That's a big one, right? Because that's like national news and so many people involved. Like I say nowadays, it's how body cameras come out, and just
Mm-hmm.
what you just explained is I could see it blown up. It'd be a movie before she even go to trial. That's how America is today. You know what I'm saying? Like a movie
Yeah.
and people getting rights to making money on it. But again, it's sad. That's one thing I don't like. People getting elderly. We work hard to get our retirements, and people get scammed
Mm-hmm.
all the time, man, all the time, and their whole life savings is gone. I don't ever see nobody getting repaired for that. Repaid is a slap, like you said, and it's so much of that going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm I,
Yeah.
I'm most mainly I deal with uh like robberies, domestics and stuff like this. I'm familiar with, but you get into white collar crime like that, and it's a big level. But again, they have expertise at
Right.
that. People that can follow those IP addresses and stuff like that. So it hurts me, man, to
Right.
see. I think it's a heart issue. Again, I'm think I'm blessed. I'm satisfied with what I have. I'm on the other side. I'm going to see the Lord closer than that. The career I had. I was blessed with my career. What I'm trying to pass on now is I want my kids, grandkids, and great grands to work hard. If you got a
Mm-hmm.
talent, expound on that. That's how we try to push the issues. How getting education. Right now, we have talented people that have blessed with gifts and talents for athletics, and you want them to have good management. You see a lot of people fall by the wayside. Where are they at now? Uh,
Right.
go to the wrong team. I mean, I'm looking at the NBA draft the other day, guy. 19. I was like, they blessed, man. I was like, you know, but
Mm-hmm.
trying to get education and working hard. I think I learned around here is we don't have nobody learn hands-on skills anymore. You know,
Mm-hmm.
at trade school when I was coming up. Now I have a son. I'm sure he's not. He's 31 years old now, but he went to Job Corps. Dropped out of high school, went to Job Corps, and he's blessed to make six figures, man. I like it works. It ain't for everybody, but again, he learned a skill. He works at Toyota, and I was like, man, you blessed. I mean, he said he don't want to work as hard as I did, but again, I've been working 45 plus years, and again, you like to see people be successful.
Right.
And so those kind of crimes that you described, man, just oh man, it's unreal. But they took their time to understand that, right? Where did that where did that where did that where did that greed where they wanted more to step on somebody come from? You know.
Right.
So yeah, those are big time. And it's still real. It's still happening. You know, I see one thing about my phone. This iPhone, me and you talking on. It's a great technology, man. But I got news flashes every 5 minutes. Somebody dying. You know, that's like, man, it's terrible, brother. So
Yeah.
it's just happening all over. But just to see people go down to Mexico when we get Amber Alerts, and it just wow. I wanted to pay child support back in the day, and I
Hmm.
kids and grandkids struggling now. But you know, I got kids that suffer with addictions and things of this nature. So I gotta tell everybody I'm real. It hits me home too, but I can't go above the law.
Right.
I try to work with the entities we got. Marissa and the people I met along my way on campaigning. They have what they're trying to do, help the community, and it might fall short, but
That,
I don't give up, man.
I'm glad you said campaigning, because that's something that a lot of people don't understand about certain positions on the higher side of law enforcement, that it actually becomes political.
Oh yeah,
You know,
oh yeah,
although you're when you become a police officer, for most part, some people don't think about politics. They think I want to move up through the ranks. In some cases, some like, listen, I'm gonna stay right here.
right,
I'm gonna do my 30 years and I'm a
yeah,
bounce.
yeah,
But some people, like, when they get to that certain point, they be like, I was not prepared to do any of these political things. I was just prepared to throw my name in there. Here's my resume. I've never been late. like
oh,
they was prepared for that.
okay,
Now they have to go into a point of campaigning.
yeah,
Explain that part of your life that people haven't got to hear from any other people that have positioned themselves to campaign for, like chief or deputy.
right. Well, just becoming a deputy, you put a resume in, right? And somebody just like you go get a loan at a bank, somebody got to entrust in you, say, hey, we're gonna sponsor this guy, we're gonna let him work, we're gonna get him with the training officers, see if he can follow the rules, regulations, do the reports, how they interact with people and stuff like this. So now, and when it came to campaigning, I'm thinking I'm tapping into people that already knew me, which I did, and I was, and but I learned, from what I learned, I was going against a homegrown, a hometown guy. He grew up here and all this stuff. I'm interjected from the military, but again, I went to community watch meetings and tried to get the response from the people. I went on radio. You got to get your name out there. You got to put the signs. You got to go knock on doors. You got to go to visit everybody. And we were going through trying times here in our community, so it hit home. But the reality was, hey, I was still willing because I think with my personality, again, I know how to reach out, and you got in the community. How can I say this? I would have had a very expensive budget to be
Mm.
responsible. I'm not a lover of money. Again, I can say that openly. I'm blessed with what I have, but you don't let that be your master. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Your legacy of how you treat people. I used to tell everybody, I dealt with some very bad people, but it's how respect, respect. You know what I'm saying? I had to do my job. I had to follow the letter of the law. I'm not above the law. And some of the laws that come up, I'm just like you, a citizen. We got to
Hmm.
vote. Legislators come up and say, hey, we got this new law change. You got to voice it. You got to get out there and vote. A lot of things slip through the cracks, but morally, as an officer, we have discretion. But, to try to lead your people, I saw what I've seen, but mental health, we need more training. I got 30 years on,
Mm.
and that's learning in the field. But when you have specialized training, you work with a community, want to deal with mental health professionals. You know, I got a degree of the streets. I mean, just to be honest with you, but again,
Hmm.
people go to college. You hire them kind of people. You interview them. You know what I'm saying? And you get out there. But campaigning is something. Just as you see it, I'm sure you're getting beat up like I am from the political arena, wanting fundraising, and we watch them and we see what we see.
Right.
I'm like, wow, and just like say, I see a lot of things in law enforcement and technology. I'm old school, hands on, but again, I wear a gun. I've been wearing a gun for 30 plus years, but that don't mean I want to go out here and shoot nobody. You know, and you don't lock
Absolutely.
up everybody.
Abs-
You want to find the root of the problems. You know,
Absolutely.
you familiar with DARE, drug drug abuse resistance education? That's old school now.
Now, oh yeah, there, yeah.
DARE. I was DARE,
Okay.
but I dealt with gang violence. I mean, it's here. Everything's here in Fayetteville.
Mm,
Everything. Today in our society, we still dealing with outlaw motorcycle gangs. And
mm,
it's real, man. And people still getting, like you said. I hate to see people getting taken, scammed, because it's hard, man. You gotta get the right people to try to investigate that kind of stuff. It's
right,
not violent crime, but what do we work for? You know, you work to
right.
provide for your family. You know, but we got addiction that's facing people. So they sell their food stamps. They sell. You know what I'm saying? To get that next high. This
Yeah,
opiate this opiate epidemic is real. Uh, uh, the child. What I'm trying to say. Oh man, child exploitation.
mm,
I, I
mm.
I'm getting almost tongue tied. You know what I'm talking about though? Human
Yeah,
trafficking.
you said it absolutely. Yeah, the trafficking. Yeah,
Trafficking, man. It's still real,
yeah.
and we were here in Fayetteville, North Carolina, was one of the hot spots. We on
Mm,
the border. There have been drug arrests that ties all the way down to Mexico, Texas, where you at? You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And there's interstate going all the way to New York, D.C. I mean, like I say, what I think we all should work together. Now we got 48 states here, right, on this North America, but I think we should be in a closer. How can I say this? Law enforcement wise, kind of promoting the same thing.
right,
But you and I know that, hey, some people move because a better state is more lenient or something like that.
right. Now there was a an officer who made a lot of headway on social media. Uh, his name was Officer Tommy,
Hmm.
and Officer Tommy was known for being a lovable cop in particularly black neighborhoods. He would go hang out with kids and play basketball. He even brought Shaquille O'Neal with him one
Right,
time to, but then the precinct that he was with told him shut all of it down, no
right,
more.
right,
And I was like, wow. But to me, I I saw that as that's proper policing. And I'm not a cop. I'm not trying to tell people how to do their job.
right,
But I'm thinking of it as such, you know, because we know on the opposite side of the law, it's not the guy in Ecuador telling on the guy in Houston. It's the person right next to the person telling on the guy in Houston.
right,
It's the closest people to you that'll
right,
do you. So if you're building relationships with certain people in certain areas, that puts them in the mindset but to think. That doesn't say it's going to prevent all crime, but it
right,
prevents a great bit of it because now there's a relationship that people are thinking about. If I do this, it'll damage that.
right. Oh yeah, most
Particularly when you got somebody bringing Shaq. A lot of people don't know Shaq is a licensed
yeah,
deputy in like 6 or 7 states.
yeah,
A lot of people don't know that.
right,
So that's just something I think about. Like, why would you why would you tell him to stop? You
right,
know?
right. Because hey, they don't want nobody to be how you saying outshine them.
Mm,
That's just like that Officer Tommy. And again, like I said, I tell everybody I'm gonna be the same load. Yeah, I know famous people. Like I said, when we started getting in this boxing ring, I helped Larry Holmes when he came here in '91 and fought Bone Crusher. And these are champions. And
mm-hmm,
I got you keep up with guys like that. But again, like I say, when it's something positive, you heard about. I'm looking back now how they used to do the lip sync. The different police and challenges,
mm-hmm.
and I'm like, it's positive. You know, I worked with Special Olympics for 30 years. You know what I'm saying? I got a report. That's that good side of law enforcement. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
again, like I tell people, I'm a young officer coming up. I'm 62 this year, this month. And I say, hey, man, I had a rewarding career. I've seen people that join the ranks and they'll say, hey, because of what they saw in me. Like I said, it ain't about the money, you know what I'm saying? But the
Right.
accolades that you can get, you know what I'm saying? And it's just the respect. When I was coming up as a kid, like I said, I was in law enforcement family, but, we wanted to be a firefighter or police, Those are the things that we saw. The lights come when people needed help. Now, yeah, we see the
Right.
bad side of everybody,
Right.
but again, it's how you react and handle the situation, So,
And I'm glad you mentioned firefighters, because a lot of people don't know that they could be a special type of individual who happens to be a officer and a EMT.
yeah, oh yeah,
They don't know, like what your value is, not only to the community but your value to your home take. Like a lot of people didn't know that they could do that.
oh yeah, that's something, man. I say when you tell people don't, you tell a young man, don't just rely on the gifts and talents God gave you athletic, because boom, all of a sudden, get your knees or injuries, they just take it out. You know,
Hmm.
people see things, as adults, like you say, just meeting different young people. You can see different gifts and talents. Some people well spoken, you know, and some people got gifts with their hands. Some people you got to learn how to. People learn different. Like some people
Yeah.
can take a lecture. Some people got to put hands on. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they got to try for themselves. They got to take something apart, put it back. You see, when you see people like that, people that could draw good, we supposed to say, hey, you're a good artist. Boom, boom.
Hmm.
Uh, the one that's skilled with architect, say, hey, man, you could be a good architect. You know,
Right.
and people need to expound that, push them in the right direction. Because, like I say, the people, when you're out here as a police officer, I try to get with all the programs that's beneficial to the community. We want the crime rate down. We want to see everybody happy. As an
Yes,
SO
sir.
working in the school, I've seen everything. We've seen where a young kid is hiding food. You know what I mean? You're looking at 1,900 students, man, but you might see a kid snagging food, and hey, you got to say, hey, a light bulb got to go up and say, hey, this dude got some hunger issues, and
Right.
without embarrassing them, pull them to the side, get counselors involved. Let's see what's going on with little Johnny. Let's see what's going on. Somebody might walk in crying. We deal with, nowadays they grow up fast, man. I mean, I can tell you, I started young. I started my first child is 16, so
Hmm.
I know the hard, and I've been through the child support. Been married 3 times. These kind of things that police deal with.
Right.
Also, you have financial struggles, but you don't mean you get out here and rob nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's something like I think all officers need to say, what am I doing when people ain't looking at me?
Mm.
That's the real true, doing the right thing when ain't nobody looking at you.
Mm.
All this
Mm.
still, that's how you got to live every day. When I wake up,
There's a gentleman that I want to introduce you to. He's from Chicago, Mr. Lawrence. He on TikTok he goes by the name Retired Officer Lawrence.
okay,
Uh, I got so much respect for this man, and he made me a moderator of his when he goes live. So I get to kick people out if they get beside themselves or whatever. It's just that
right,
it's a mutual respect with this man and myself. He's
right,
now in Florida, um, and we keep communication and we talk. And I would like for you to meet him, because that's one of his things is really what are you how are you behaving when you're not out in public?
right,
When you're not in uniform. The
right,
humanity side is sometimes is something that's often forgotten by a lot of officers that I have seen directly. Um,
right,
you know, I had guys, you know, run on me, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. I don't know why you over here, but let's have a discussion. No, I answered you answer the question I asked. So hold on. You do agree we're gonna have a discussion, correct? Because if we're not gonna do that, we can shut all this down, get the supervisors out here. Not knowing that
right,
in my pocket it's enough information just to make them say, okay, why didn't you just tell us this from the start? Like, no, that's not
Right.
how it goes.
Right.
You come
Right.
with the human aspect of, I don't know who this person is or who they're connected to.
Right.
And particularly if I don't have any information that I seen directly,
Right.
I'm one of those people. I don't like to come in blind on anything.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean?
Oh, oh
I
yeah.
you tell me something, let me see it for myself first and foremost, because I don't want to come in blind.
Right.
We're changing that for the next generation by helping them really secure the bag before marriage in their early 20s, family stress, and breaking the generational curse. This is exactly what we're doing here at the T Max
Right.
Network. And there will be a show within the next few days or so. It's called the Winner Circle, which is the very background behind us. And what the Winner Circle is going to do is going to help those young men and women find a stable ground, which is also not just impended on finances. It's also to remind people you're human. You're gonna make mistakes,
Yeah.
but you're never going to be so much above any other human that you can't easily be right in the same situation they are or worse.
Right.
So, but that's a big aspect to me. I would think, particularly when you hold an authoritative position, is
Hmm.
to have that constant thought process. I am human.
Yeah.
I bleed. I breathe. I need water, I need food. And the observation you spoke about with the children, I
Hmm.
think that is so prevalent in today's time. Um, Particularly, there was a situation in New York where there was a 10-year-old girl who was being apprehended, and it was like 12 officers, and everybody, the community reacted like, if you have something on her, take her.
Hmm.
But all of this isn't called for. It's a 10-year-old girl
Right.
who is not doesn't have a weapon.
Right.
And so that's the thing that I always like to remind people is like, if I was to be a cop, the reason why I didn't become a cop, I love kids too much.
Right. Right.
I'm just sorry.
Oh
I
yeah.
I couldn't for the life of me, and this is why God knows to have people like me who know how to deal
Right.
with themselves.
Right.
Little Johnny's hurt. I know little Johnny didn't stand up and say, "Come here, daddy." I know he didn't do that.
Right.
I know he didn't do anything. Little Johnny didn't say, "That's why you broke." Little Johnny didn't do that. That's not what little Johnny did. But whatever little Johnny did wasn't warranted of a child being, dismembered
Right.
or removed from this realm. And that right there would have been enough for me. Like, y'all gotta take me in today. Why? Because I'm doing this. And like, whoa, so that's why I left the law enforcement side alone, because
Right.
my my heart for children,
Oh
because
yeah.
I simply relate to the child that I was. Like, I
Oh
was a
man.
child. I
Oh,
know what children do.
I got
So that's
when I ran for sheriff, a lot of people like, I said I was an SRO. That's how I build relationships. Everybody can't work in the schools, man. I mean, from
right.
elementary to high school, and now I'm at a college. So it's like, hey, I said evidently somebody see I knew it. I said, hey, I'm doing something right. It's how you relate to them, man. Like you just said. Now,
Mm-hmm.
brother Lowe got to learn about TikTok. Cause you saw, I don't know if you saw my email. I'm still at AOL. I'm still
Listen,
Facebooking. Man, this Instagram and TikTok and all that, that's something new to me. Hey,
brother, you're in the right place.
yeah,
I will make all of this. I will dumb all this down for you. You be like, oh man, that's it. Trust me, I got you.
I don't.
My
Hey,
84, if my 80 some yard grandmother can just be scrolling through her phone, I got you, no problem.
yes, sir.
Quick fix.
All right,
Thank you, my love.
but hey, and like I say, God got a plan for all of us, and I'm glad that I got to talk to y'all today. And hey, you shoot anybody, man. And now right now we public.
Yes,
I'm willing to give you
yes,
the
sir.
phone number.
Oh yeah, I'll get all that
Okay.
information to you, yes, sir.
Because yeah, I mean it's like, hey, I usually I say if I don't answer, I'll call you back.
Yes,
Like
sir.
third shift is rough, and but I feel important, man. That like, say if we can communicate and put the right people in the right spots, you know what I'm saying? Like I told
Absolutely,
you, God's will, but I'm not. I'm willing to hear it, and I'm learning more from you right now. I'm taking notes as we was talking, and like I said, I look forward to talking to all these guys.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's just some tremendous guys, man, and that's one big thing about for um for us here at the TMAX Network is to build those bridges and gaps. And I apologize, anybody. Let me correct y'all. I messed up, but I'm human. So the winner circle, the family legacy that lies within black men of the family. So we have to teach them how to live accordingly. The winner circle.
Mhm.
Absolutely correct. So apologize to my brother, Miss
That's all right.
TKO.
Oh, when you put me on here, D, it's like I can take, I can go in so many different directions. I apologize.
No, you're good. You're good. You are absolutely good. So hey, we need to see the many variations of man. Because one thing I know that men are lacking is the experience
Yes, sir. That's true.
of life.
Oh yeah.
Because there's this narrative that men are only one way and one way only. And I'm like, huh? How y'all have the same ideologies on things? There's no growth. I don't
Yeah.
want no parts of that.
Right.
And so here at T Max Network, we are not here condemning. We're not here judging. I mean, not intentionally anyway. Judgment's
Right.
a part of life.
It is. Yes, sir.
But we're not here to bash and make people feel
Right.
worthless. We're here to let people know there's various amounts of people out here, and you either deal with them or you don't. It's just that simple. And so when people, pass through here and they see the live stream, it's like, well, a lot of times they'll stay depending on if the tones or whatever may be catching to them, maybe a topic or so. However, if they leave, God bless them. If they
Right.
stay, God bless them. And that's just where we're at right now. That's where we're always going to be at, you
Right.
know. But the ones that's meant to be here and be in the midst of us, it's going to be blessings. It's going to be grateful. It's going to be awesome relationships
Oh
come out of it. Just last week we had three awesome brothers on here. One brother made national news out in Memphis, Tennessee. Roderick Collins. He owns a gym called God Body, and he even shared his experience about how he was a bigger man and he lost weight to get in shape, and then he started this, and his goal is to have 50 gyms across the nation where he does a tour. And brothers on here, he made national news. A young brother around 24 years old was sleeping in his old Camaro and that he got behind the gym. And he's like, hey, you gotta get out, and he was recording himself so he could protect himself. And his brother came back. Hey, second time he yelled at him again. Third time he says, listen, we got to figure this out. Gave him a cup of coffee, sat down, learned a few things about the man, learned some things about himself, and they have what I call the not father and son type relationship. It's more of the big brother who had to step into the father's position type of relationship. So
right.
now that young man has been with Rod for about 7 months. He's doing okay. He's progressed and he's grown a lot. Um, but it took a brother to recognize some things, like you said, to that observation.
Mm-hmm.
I think that observation thing to me is so keen in all positions, particularly in the authoritative fields where you have like, listen, let me observe this fully to see what's going on and not just to act without, just
Yeah.
go crazy, just be rational. No, like, yeah. So we had that brother, and we had also a good brother named Al Black from Philadelphia. I call that brother the Super Samaritan. Um, like I told him, I was joking with my wife. I said the brother loves Philadelphia so much. If Philadelphia told him, listen, all we got is this toothbrush and this bar of soap, that brother will figure out a way to make it stretch to clean every bit of block of, like, he's really a true Philadelphia guy. He has traveled, he has lived in other cities, but he just loves Philadelphia so much.
Right.
Um, he has a website called Feed the People 215. Um, and he's also an actor. There's a movie that's out. Is Once Upon a Time in Philly, and part two is out right now. So that brother's dynamic brother. And then I had Joe Mans, who created a video game that teaches children how to become game designers, and is also implemented in school programs in the East Texas area, where he is now the director of that particular program, the first of its kind in his nation. He takes really great pride of that. That brother is a man that's been married for 27 years. Great brother. Um, he just had a conference and a video game tournament, got some great sponsors out, but he's really about getting the kids to see there's a different way of life. You play the video games, learn how to make one.
Yeah.
And so if those kids
Like
do
that.
anything, right, those kids do anything reputable, they'll get producers credit and they'll be getting paid for the rest of their lives.
Yes, sir.
And so, breaking
Those
the
kind of,
curse,
those are the kind of things they didn't teach us, growing up.
right, the things that they took away out of school too. I
Oh yeah.
mean, they took out metal shops and now you got all these UTI. Like, wait, you took out metal shop to create something. Now I got to go get financial aid. I was getting this in high
Yeah.
school.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
they
sir.
they took a lot of that out, man. And we, as the people of the community, like I say, that observation thing is so keen to me. Like that is a thing. Like let me observe where I can really be helpful, or let me be observant enough to say, "Hey, brother, I know you got a lot going on, but I just need you over here for about 2 minutes and tell me what you see. Tell me how I can attack this, and then I'll do what I can do until I have to come back to you."
Right.
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 And that that bonding, that building, you know, Officer Tommy, guys like yourself that are officers, my father for one,
Right.
um, the situation where he had got a call, and being in one of the suburban areas, one of all little puppy cops all hyped up looking for action, just couldn't wait to fly 80 miles an hour and pull their guns out. And brother accidentally shot his wife because he was cleaning his gun, and he was in shock.
Right.
The guy was also a truck driver, so that was a relatable situation when my dad knew truck driver to truck driver. You've been
Oh yeah.
gone, you want to come home, and he accidentally shot his wife, and he called, and he sat out there on the porch in complete shock. My dad's last man on the scene, and all the yelling and stuff going on. My dad said, "Everybody, calm down, put your guns down."
Yeah.
And he walks up to the man. He introduced himself. He said, "I'm just going to now take this away from you, and I got to put you in cuffs because that's just what I have to do, okay?"
Yeah.
And that man gave no fuss, no fight,
Right.
and all that yelling and stuff was just it was over the top.
Right.
But that human element, man, that recognition. Little Johnny's hungry.
Yeah.
Let me talk to him.
Yeah.
Let me confirm what I'm seeing.
Right.
Once it's confirmed, let me now take proper action without having to be over the top.
Right.
And I think we have so much out there that if it's not over the top, then it's not really worth paying attention to.
Hey, I can't. It go back to when somebody see a little kid cutting up, and they say, "I'm getting that officer to lock you up." And you got to pull them and say, "Don't do that. Don't do that."
Mm-hmm.
Because see, that's old school. We want people to want a child to be able to approach us. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
I'm a big man, bro. I'm 283 pounds. I wear a uniform, gun. I was like, hey, but I think my smile helps me. You know what I'm saying? My demeanor.
Right,
You can walk up on a situation, you ain't got to grab. It's just how they come up. You don't throw no
right,
gloves on and start busting up. I'm coming up smiling. What can I do to help you?
right,
Oh,
right,
and like you say, you be ready. And if you know what call you going to, you know, hey, it's officers getting killed every day, man, on domestics, even on traffic stops. It's just how you got to approach and be aware. And then I watch it just like everybody else do. You say you learn from it, and we learn from all those videos. When I was here campaigning, I told the guy I go all the way back to Rodney King, man. So I'm 92, but I watched a lot of coming up, and nowadays just so much that you see.
Right.
How would I handle that? You know what I'm saying? When you talk about Baltimore, Philly, Ferguson, Missouri, that's my hometown. It hit right here in Fayetteville. I'm like, wow, we not oblivious of it. I see
Right.
Seattle, Washington. I mean, they ain't right. We had our little stuff here, but again, different jurisdiction handle different. They catch it, and it's like, wow. But again, man, it's just something. But again, you got to go there and say, if I can help one person, if I can help one person on my shift, make a difference. I can tell you, 30 years, like you just said, I see success stories. I build a respect. Like I said, you can go up in the, you can't be afraid to go up in the situation. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
Right.
that, people that stand off and they got to get 20 or no, like you said, it could be overkill. You know, you got my back. If hey, where I'm going, and this is a situation. We got any background on the people? I mean, once you know your community, you should know your people.
Right. Right.
It's like you go around. This is a transient area, 400,000 people. But again, you should. My neighborhoods know me. Somebody my age also low. They knew me from 10 or 20 years ago. I used to be at the skating rink. I'm so and so mama, and
Listen, man,
all that.
listen, we gotta get the skate rinks and the bowling alleys back in the neighborhoods,
Yes,
man.
sir. Yes, sir. For real. That was the impact for me as a kid in St. Louis. And we had 3 of them here in Fayetteville. And a lot of kids know me from that, man. And, you got your radio personality. They call me Disco 50. I mean, you got news. They know me. And like I say, hey, we all work together, man. It's like, hey, when they have the anniversaries, I got kids just call me back to a high school reunion, 20 years. I said, who go figure that? Here you inviting a deputy. And now they say, hey, Lo, keep doing what you're doing. They used to call me, they call me D-Lo. And, my supervisor said, why they call you C-Lo and D-Lo? Because I made corporal, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, I made supervisor, I had to leave. I said, they don't call me Slow Lo, but, it's just, I say, man, we got to respect. And them kids, I say, I treat them just like they mine. It's just like when hey, right now in Methodist University, they all anxious. I say, y'all spending $40,000 a semester. I said, I'm gonna treat them just like mine. You know what I'm saying? So, here's
Right.
my number.
Right.
And they gonna make mistakes as young adults too.
So man, we're gonna wrap this up, and I
I
want
got
you to stay. I want you to stay so we can exchange some information because
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
normally we kind of kick around after a few
All
and just
right.
really get to that fellowship part of it.
Yes, sir.
What would be some things? Because I know you say you got the young 24-year-old brother. What would be some things, some strong wishes for him? Some things you might not have been able to say to him, might have got interrupted. What would be some strong wishes that you have for him going forth in the future that
Have
you want to
have a
make certain that it's out there for him to know?
oh yeah. I like I say we just rode one night. You know how you communicate and people open up to you like you mean you
Mm-hmm.
gonna do. But I think he's got a good head on his shoulder. And we're gonna work the next 3 or 4 nights together. And I just want him to have a successful career. He's young like my grandkids. I don't know if I ain't tell you this, but I got 25 grandkids. I watched a lot of them grow up on Facebook,
Mm.
and I'm in the process, like I say, getting 3 great grands. Hopefully this year, God willing. But
Right.
again, when I see a young man like that, I just want to instill in him. Yeah, I want to learn from him though. See what I'm saying? He just come out of school or he's been in another agency, but he's seasoned enough, and I can see that. Hey, he probably seen some things I ain't seen or seen a lot in his young career already. But
Mm.
again, I want him to be successful and to have, we all look for that 30-year career and,
Right.
moving on. So I just like to pass on to him and get feedback from him because like he said, oh man, I'm 24 and I'm finna, he in a college setting now. This ain't the
Okay.
streets, this ain't dealing. And he come from a bad part of the state,
Okay.
so I know he's seasoned in that. But I'm gonna learn from him again, and I'm gonna try to instill his wisdom what I can when I'm working with him.
Okay.
You know,
Good
you know,
job, man.
he got to the university and the people, the staff there always say you with the right man. I hope I'm glad to hear that. That's positive, but I say that makes me feel good, man. Like I say, that's you know you don't get that big head because like I say I'm blessed, man. Like I say, I
Right.
just want to pass it on to the young guys. So I just hopefully
Absolutely.
I instill in him, and like you say, your father, man. I'm proud of your father. So I know we dealt with different things, but it's still that's family. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Well, I appreciate
enjoy
that,
this, man.
man.
Enjoy this, D. That was
I,
awesome.
I appreciate you, and I hope you come back and hang out with us and just sit, bro, because this is
Oh
what
yeah.
it's about. Success is the best revenge overall. Oh man. So we're gonna wrap this up. A few things here, man. I just want to remind y'all to know that July 29th, a star-studded event, Stars and Cars, Fayetteville, North Carolina. You can reach out to us to find out more about that event at TMAX Network LLC at gmail.com. And we'll get that information right over to you. Also, along with that, August 12th, another big event. Michael Williams Jr., the boxer, he is going for the 21st victory. Matter of fact, he's gonna take that. I'm gonna brag on his behalf because that's just not how he is. I'm gonna do it for him. He's gonna be taking that 21st victory, August 12th. And if you want to sponsor kids so they can see a pro fight, it's only $30. And I'm just saying it like it is because it's really just only $30. We already got a pledge from a previous guest that want to be put down for $30 for a child. And you too could also sponsor a child for $30. So go ahead and hit us up at TMAX Network LLC at gmail.com and you can sponsor that child to get them there. But if you have any content that you want to put out there, you want to create it, or you want to have a suggestion of a show, you want to be a sponsor, panelist on one of the shows, a suggestion, you also email us as well. And follow us here on the YouTube where we are TMAX Network underscore TMAX Network. All right. TMAX underscore network on YouTube. So like, comment, subscribe. Please come visit and hang out with us, man. Don't forget, man, the winner circle is coming. I want y'all to understand the winner circle is coming. That will be an amazing situation. You do not want to miss out. There's going to be some gems dropping, some financial information. All of that is coming up. And cannot forget Boss Talk with me at Ridgeway, 5:45 Sundays. And then me, I was running late today. I'm gonna take the blame for it. 7:45 Sundays here with the Missing Conversation and the Sit Bro. And then we have the dynamic duo with Denise Nicole and my boy Hot Boy Zeke giving the People's Campaign to the people. So come back, hang out, be a part of the love. We're here for you. God bless. See y'all next Sunday.